Hello there. My name is Agosubamei, your friend for a greater Nigeria and the best things of life. I am out for my usual morning walk. Today, you would notice I'm wearing a polo and it's buttoned all the way up. A reason being that the weather is cold. It's actually chilly out here in northern Nigeria. It's a Hamatan season, and I need to cover myself up properly as I take my walks. I have a thought I want to share with you today, and it has to do with the education of women. And before I share my thoughts, I would like to take three quotations and then use those to illustrate the points I want to make today. Now, let me say here that I consider this very, very important because largely women have been sidelined in our society, in Africa, and in Nigeria. I'm sure in your community you can tell that women have largely been sidelined. There's a recent report released by the Nigerian Bureau for Statistics. The Nigerian Bureau for Statistics is a government agency, so it's not one of those INGOs or UN organizations. And so government officials are not going to argue and say these are foreign institutions that are trying to bring the country down. This is a government institution. It released the what is called the multidimensional poverty index, a multidimensional poverty index for 2022, and the figures are damning. You know, from that study, and it was a very extensive study that covered all the 109 senatorial zones, senatorial areas in Nigeria. So it touched every part of Nigeria. Now, that study indicates that there are 133 million Nigerians that will be considered multidimensionally poor. 133 million. That's more than half the population of Nigerians, about 63% of the population of Nigerians. Now, that's huge. That is huge. But the point I want to make today, I'll talk about that study um, in another recording. But the point I want to make today, and the point I want to take out of that study, is that the majority of the multidimensionally poor Nigerians are actually women and children. Women and children. And I've been asking myself why. Of course, the reasons are obvious. They're not difficult to deduce it. We exclude women. They don't have access like men have. They don't have access to loans, access to opportunities, access to education, and all that. And education, particularly, is the main thing that changes people's life. It takes you out of poverty and it gives you the chance to live a good life. And majority of our women are kept out of that. It's rather unfortunate. So let me take the three quotations that I mentioned earlier. One is an African saying. I'm sure you've heard it before. It says, if you educate a man, you basically educate an individual. But if you educate a woman, you educate a family, you educate a community, you educate a nation. The question is why? I'll answer it in a while. The second quotation is from Michelle Obama. She was the First Lady of the United States of America from 2009 to 2017, when her husband, uh, President Obama, was in office. She said, when girls are educated, their countries become stronger and more prosperous. When girls are educated, their countries become stronger and more prosperous. Why? Then the last quotation I'll take is from Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie, the actress, and a filmmaker, and also a humanitarian, a famous person. She said, the greatest pillar of strength is a woman that is strong, free, and educated. The greatest pillar of strength is a woman that is strong, free, and educated. Again, again, I ask why. Um, to give you the answer, I'll tell you the story of my mother. When I was born, my mother was a class teacher. My father was the headmaster of the primary school where my mother taught. That means I was born to teachers. And unfortunately for us as a family, 5 boys and 1 girl, we lost our father Ali in 19. Our father died in 1975. That's a long time ago. Our mother passed on recently, so she lived with us. We grew up right in her front and become adults and started having families of our own and taking care of our children. She saw her grandchildren before she eventually passed on too. But when our father died, we were all children. I mean, um, our mother took care of us. She sacrificed her youth. She sacrificed her opportunities, as it were, to make sure that she gave us opportunity in life. She took care of our um, hygiene, our nutrition. She took care of our clothing, you know, our education. She made sure we went to school, we stayed in school. She made sure we were healthy, and and so we were strong and healthy, all of us. That allowed us to stay in school, stay longer, stay the course. Today, between the 6 of us, we share 19 degrees because of a mother who was educated, knew the value of education, and extended that value to us. And today, we are a benefit to the community. Each one of us, we're spread all across the country. We're each doing well because we had an educated mother who gave herself to take care of us. Now, I've always thought about this, and I will say it here. I sometimes ask myself, what if it were the other way around? What if we'd lost our mother and our father stayed alive? The most likely thing that would have happened is probably in a year or two he would have remarried, and the opportunities we got because our mother kept us together and educated us, we probably would not get. So, but again, it's just a thought. That probably would not happen, but I'm saying this because that's a likely thing that would happen in Africa. African men, they don't pay too much attention to their children. I guess it's not just African men, it's a problem of men generally. That is why the African saying says, if you educate a man, you educate an individual. But if you educate a woman, you educate a family, you educate a community, and you educate the nation. See, women share naturally. They share. If you give a man a piece of bread, he eats it alone. You give a woman a piece of bread, she keeps it, she takes it home, she shares it with her children. Um, with the house help, she shares that same piece of bread with even the neighbors. That's the way women are. So if you educate a woman, the benefit of education are more likely to spread across the community, the family, the community, and everybody else. The benefits of hygiene, nutrition, the benefits of health, and all that. Educated women are more likely to pass that to the community um, than anyone else. And that's why we must educate our women. We must allow our girls. See, if you have children and you have a boy and a girl, and maybe because of lack of resources, you have to choose who to educate. My advice to you will be educate both of them. Yeah, educate both of them. Don't let the girl stay at home and you send the boy to school. Make sure the girl also goes to school. Educate your girls. The thing is that when girls go away to school and get educated and come back, the fear most of us men have is that they will marry and forget us. But experience has shown that the opposite is the case. Your daughter is more likely to turn around and take care of you during your old age than your son. That's what experience has shown, you know. So let's educate them. We have in 2021 the population of women in Nigeria was 104 million compared to men's population of 107 million. We have It's about 50-50, the population of men and women in Nigeria. That's a large population to ignore. When we educate them, we actually strengthen the community more, because you need to understand that the strength of a community is the strength of the individuals and institutions that make up that community. If we have such a large number of uneducated women, it means that we have a weak community. And that's why Michelle Obama is saying that if you educate a girl, her country becomes stronger and more prosperous. So let's educate our women. Let's support our daughters and our women to get the education they can get. It's good for your family, it's good for the community, it's good for the nation that we have educated women, independent thinking women who are strong and are also contributing to the society. There are lots of inventions in the world today that were invented by women. And the one I want to share with you, which is what I'll probably say last before I stop this recording, is that of Shirley Jackson. You know fiber optic cables, you also know about call waiting and caller ID. All these functions that we use daily as we make use of our smartphones, actually invented by a woman, Shirley Jackson. She's still alive. She's an American. And imagine if this woman had not been educated, we probably would not have these functions today. We can transfer videos, and this video I'm making can go around the world in an instant because of fiber optic cables that a woman was responsible for the invention. So let's educate our women, let's give them the best so that we can have a stronger and a better society. I remain Agosubamei, your friend for Greater Nigeria and the best things of life. We will talk again.